Welcome, everybody, to the Miracle Project. Autistic kids by nature are isolated. Sounds can be too loud, so how can you have a group of kids singing? I want to have an all-out musical. It's 12 years later, and in some ways, we're exactly where we were.
There's a difference between him and other people.
1 minute something's challenging you, and then you figure it out, and the next thing you know, you gotta find your way around another challenge.
And yet we're light years ahead of where we were.
He's so ready to be part of this world.
As long as he's willing to fight the fight, I will back him up.
I don't want to let something that a doctor has put on a piece of paper stop me.
I mean, there might be a little sadness, but we can live through it.
We're left to forge a new path with our kids. That's where we're at now.
Do you have a vision? Do you want a miracle to happen? Well, today, this woman has done that. She is the creator and founder, the executive and artistic director of the Miracle Project, Elaine Hall. Hello, Elaine.
Hello, hello. So good to see you, David. It's always so fun to be with you. You just, I don't know, kindred spirits, you know, you light up a room, David. So it's wonderful, wonderful to be here.
That it's so interesting that you said kindred spirits, because that's the second time in the last 2 weeks I've heard that, but I really felt it with you when you said that. I was going, oh yeah, we're in that same family.
Yeah.
So I just have to warn you, I get a little emotional now and then. So.
Of course.
Yeah. So here, I'm going to throw out a name. And I want to find out what it means. Coach E.
Coach E. So my work originally was in the TV and film business as an acting coach. And I was working on the show, the movie, The Flintstones.
Yeah.
I was Pebbles and Bam Bam's acting coach.
I love it.
And the on-set dialogue coach. And one of the Pebbles' name was Elaine, and that's my name, Elaine.
Yeah.
So, and they're both 4-year-old twins, which, as you know, often in the entertainment field, when children are younger, under 6 years old, they will have twins to play one role.
Right.
So the Pebbles were played by 4-year-old twins. And the Bam Bams were also played by 4-year-old twins. So one of the Pebbles' names was Elaine. So every time the director would say, Elaine, we'd both look. So her mom said, let's call this Elaine, Big Elaine, which I've never been called Big before, but Big Elaine, Coach E. And I loved it, and the name stuck, and that's, you know, the name stuck, not stuck. The name stuck.
For me, it was stuck.
There you go. That too. The name stuck, and I've been Coach E ever since.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. So you've been you started in the industry as, like you said, an acting coach. And what got you into what you're doing now? How did that shift?
That's a great question. I was a TV and film acting coach. I was also a movement and dance teacher, and I had a theater program called Kids on Stage that brought out the best in all abilities. So I've always been around the work of the arts for those both in the business and out of the business. But my career was very strongly as a TV and film acting coach. And then I adopted my own Bam Bam. I adopted a little boy from Russia when he was a toddler, and he looked just like Bam Bam.
Oh. And
when I brought him home from Russia, he spun around in circles and stared at his hand for hours at a time. And I didn't know at the time because it wasn't my field, but he was later diagnosed on the autistic spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
But all I knew was that he was my son.
Yeah.
And I wanted to reach him. So when he spun in circles, I spun with him, and we'd turn it into dance and ring around the rosies. And if he would flap,
Yeah.
they would flap with me, right? He would flap. It's wonderful. You know, traditional therapists would say hands down and give him an M&M,
Right.
and that would create anxiety. But I found when he flapped, I'd flap, and we'd be birds, and we'd fly around the room together, and we'd connect.
Yeah.
And the local therapist thought that I was crazy, but I found some wonderful people on the East Coast, Dr. Barry Prezant, the late Dr. Stanley Greenspan, who I like to say co-signed my insanity and encouraged me to continue joining my son's world. And I started training, learning from them and other experts in the field of disability awareness and developmental disabilities, sensory integration, speech and language pathology. I learned from the best.
Yeah.
And then synthesized it into creative methodology so that I could teach my friends, my actor, singer, dancer friends, how to join my son's world. So I started everything with my son, and I created this whole method of combining creativity with best practices in autism. And we joined my son's world 10 hours a day, 7 days a week, creatively. So inch by inch by inch, he merged, still autistic, still non-speaking, but happy, creative, communicative, and ready to learn. So that's from there. Next thing I knew, people were coming to me and wanting me to train them, and I didn't want to go back into the film business at that time.
Right.
So I listened to a voice in my heart that said, use these methods to teach others. And through a support originally from the Jewish Community Foundation and mentored by my dear friend Michelle Wolf, I started what's now known as the Miracle Project. And it's using those same methods now. You know, started with, I promised I would impact 100 people through the grant. And now it's been thousands.
Way more. Yeah. Thousands.
I feel very blessed. I feel very blessed.
Well, I mean, we're all blessed to have you. I mean, it shows too how important art is in society.
Yes.
Because to see people grow from that, to see anybody just to hear music or see dance or movement. There's another name that I have written down here. And then after this, I'm going to bring in some of our students to ask questions, and I'll probably ask more questions and
Sure.
go with the flow. The Child Whisperer.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, the New York Times penned me that. I was called the Child Whisperer because when I was on sets, I was able to get things from children to do. I mean, the sets are a really crazy environment, you know, and I was able to bring out their best and connect with them on their level and speak to their highest level of intelligence in this big, crazy world of a TV and film studio. So I was called the Child Whisperer, and I feel very, very blessed. Now people call me the Soul Whisperer.
Ooh, I love that one too.
Yeah. And I think really that's the work, and I think that's why we're kindred spirits, David, and the work that you do at Performing Arts Studio West as well is that using the arts are the soul of our society. The arts bring out the best in everybody, and so often individuals that with other abilities and different abilities and disabilities, there's so many therapies that are out there trying to fix them and change them and make them something that they're not, that we forget the soul. And so that's really my work is using the arts, because that's what worked for me, to connect to souls, to bring out their best, to find their passion, to really allow all of our friends to be the best they can be and live their dream.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, and it's, again, it's so amazing. You have the Miracle Project, and you were talking about myself working at Performing Arts Studio West. I'm thinking about all these groups that are, you know, bringing it together. You know, I mean, I started Meet the Biz, over 12 years ago, and then thank God I met John Paces, who created the Performing Arts Studio West, and then of course at the beginning, even before that, Mary Rings at Born to Act Players, and Alyssa Wolf at Actors for Autism, Joey Travolta. You know, we can go on with all these, and each one is so powerful, and it shows how, and without going into too much detail, but it shows how love, if we all have that love, it is such a huge power.
It's such a huge power. It's such a huge power. We're actually developing a video to be used in faith-based organizations of a song called "Made of One Breath." Of one breath.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, and that's the whole message behind it.
Wow.
Yeah, I'll share. We have a trailer for that. I'll share that with you as well.
I'd love to see that.
Yeah.
I have to talk to you later too about, you know, I'm doing a documentary called My Next Breath.
Oh, wow.
And it's about a group of actors who are a little different. One is 3 foot tall, one's blind, one's deaf, one has cerebral palsy, one's me. And it's about their stories.
Wow. Oh, how beautiful.
And of course you have the, oh, I love how you took the breath and I felt it go. And I love how, you know, and I want to let everybody in so they can hear this too, but I mean, the film that you had and the sequel, Autism the Musical, I mean, pow, on HBO, but we'll talk about that. Let's bring everybody. I don't want to keep them too long there. We've got a wonderful group of students.
Oh boy.
And family here. We have Nick Broad, as you know.
Nick.
You know Nick. And then we have Jessica Kirshner-Morgan.
Hi, Jessica.
Amy Peraza.
Hi.
Hi.
Lanzarod Record.
Hey.
Hi.
And we also have Blair Webb.
Hello. Oh my gosh, so good to see you guys. So good to see you.
Yes. And we have the wonderful Elaine Hall here from the Miracle Project.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Jessica. So nice to be with all of you. Really wonderful to be with you.
Well, I was just mentioning, we were talking about the wonderful duo of films. And I see, hello, Nick. I'm going to try. Oh, there you are.
Nick, my man. How you doing?
Great. How are you?
I'm good. Nick is a part of the Miracle Project community as well, and also a very dear friend of my son's. So.
History, family.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we were talking about the wonderful films that, I mean, it got nominated, didn't it? And did it win? And it was for HBO, right?
Yeah, good memory. Yes. In 2008, it was actually shortlisted for the Academy Awards, but it was nominated and received 2 Emmys in 2008. Yeah.
Yes.
Really cool.
And then you had a sequel come out, yes?
The sequel, Autism the Sequel, which is kind of a Where Are They Now, 12 years later, of all the five young people on the spectrum. And where are they now? So, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
By the way, how did that come about? How did somebody come up to you? Did you say, I want to do this film? How did that happen?
So my whole life, David, has been an accidental accident, is what I like to call it. And I'm an accidental activist. So that film, I had created the Miracle Project, and it was really for all abilities, not specifically autism. My son's on the spectrum. He's a non-speaking autistic who types to communicate. And what we do is we write and create original musicals created by the participants. And I didn't know at the time, this was now, we're talking 12, 13 years ago, I didn't realize we were doing anything that different. I didn't know. However, at that time, the popular world didn't understand what you guys know, that we have so many abilities and there's so much that we can do.
Mm-hmm.
So a group of filmmakers saw what I was doing with the Miracle Project, creating an original musical and singing, dancing, acting, and performing. And they asked if they could document the process. So I was a subject, and I thought it was only going to be about my work, but then I found out it was about me personally too. So that was, those of you that have been in documentaries before, you know, that can be challenging. It's like, yeah, I can show you what I do, but oh, wait a minute, you want to see who I am? Yeah. That was a little scary, but I really trusted the director, Trisha Regan, and the producers, and Boona Murray, Sasha Alpert, and Kristen Stills, and they were just wonderful people. So when they asked us to do a sequel, we're like, yeah, we're in. And my son, I asked him, you know, does he want to be in this project, both the first time and the second time? And he typed, "We are emissaries for autism."
Oh,
wow.
Yeah.
That is gorgeous. That's gorgeous. Well, I know that you all have some questions, and then we might even have a little fun here. Well, actually, this is fun for me, so we're having fun. I'm thinking, should we start with Nick Broad?
Yeah. I know you've traveled a lot for Mirror Project. Do you have a couple of favorite trips or places?
Nick, thank you for that question. I have traveled. I've been really fortunate. I have so many places, but I think what's been more important to me than the places, I mean, if I were to pick one place, it would probably be China, because it was so extraordinary to be in Hong Kong and China and bring these methods to a culture that did not have access. But what's been most important and impacting to me was meeting the people.
Okay.
Meeting people with disabilities all over the world, meeting parents, connecting. Some of my closest friends now are people in Argentina and Hong Kong and Rhode Island and, you know, places, Israel, that I would never have had the opportunity had I not been blessed with a son with a disability.
Wow. I bet it's so hard right now since we have to stay quarantined. I bet you feel like going, I want to travel.
You know, I'm a creative type. Yeah. So as long as I'm creating and connecting, I'm fine wherever I am. You know, I feel really fortunate to have traveled for the past 10, 11 years. Yeah. And now I get to travel in this Zoom world, which I think of as, it's like the Matrix, you know? And I mean, we bring in some of my experts from all over the world now to our classes. Yeah. You know, and we get to travel together in other ways. So right. I don't really miss it.
Well, that's interesting, because I was looking at your site and you have so much going on, and didn't you just have a musical show?
Yeah. Yeah.
It looked wonderful.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll send you a copy of the trailer for that. It's called The Influencer. And what we did is we wrote an original musical, which we were set to premiere at the Wallace Annenberg. It's where we met, David, at the Wallace Annenberg Center for the Performing Arts. And we were ready to go on in June. And then, of course, quarantine in March. So we pivoted and made a virtual musical.
Right.
Where everyone, you know, learned to audio tape themselves and videotape themselves. We were never together in the same room. And it is quite extraordinary, the piece that came from that.
Wow. Well, it's
and
amazing.
Nick was in summer camp, and he actually we made a song, and Nick juggled in our camp, and
I love it. Yeah, he is a good. You are a good juggler. I can't even say that. Yeah, too much ginger ale.
He's a good juggler, and you're a judge. He's a good judge of character and people, you know, and just an incredible singer.
I love it.
Thank you.
How about you, Blair Webb? Do you have a question for Elaine?
I've seen your shows at my mom's work, the help group.
Oh yeah.
My mom, Debbie Webb, says hi to you.
Oh, Blair, I kept looking at you and I'm like, oh, you look so familiar. Where do I know you? Where do I know you? I know you from when you would come to the shows with your mom. It's so nice to see you.
You
Wow.
too.
Thank you. Your mom's amazing.
What advice would you give to someone who wants to create a similar program like the Miracle Project?
I loved hearing you say the Miracle Project. I understood you so perfectly. And that's not an easy word to say. To create a program like the Miracle Project, I would say trust your heart, stay determined, be willing to overcome whatever obstacles come your way. And we actually offer training programs and we teach people how to start miracle projects.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
And did you say that that's also for people who do not have autism?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That have other disabilities?
Oh, yeah. 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 We have students of all abilities and it's fully inclusive. Basically, the Miracle Project is a place where we all belong. And it's about creating opportunities for all abilities to sing, dance, create, and connect. So we have participants with Tourette's, Down syndrome, ADHD, OCD, all the D, cerebral palsy, autism, non-speaking autism, highly speak. I like to say everyone that gets kicked out of any other class.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Blair. Say hi to your mom for me. She's one of my favorite people.
And you don't have to be kicked out of another class. You could also join the Miracle Project even if you're in a class.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. We have a number of students from Performing Arts Studio West. Absolutely.
Yes. Yeah. How about Amy Barraza? Do you have a question today for Elaine Hall, coach?
First of all, keep up the good work.
Oh, thank you, Amy. I really appreciate you saying that. Thank you.
And sometimes at the studio, some of them can get, like Nick Brode, can get a little nutty, but watch out for him.
I love Nick Brode's kind of nuttiness. He's so creative and so passionate.
Me too. Me too. I know, I think everybody has a little nuttiness in them and it makes the world go around.
That's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, except I'm allergic to peanuts, but everything else.
Stay away from peanuts.
I know. Yeah, I
But
know.
Amy, I think you were telling a joke though, right? You were being like teasing Nick, but you were telling a joke, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
no,
sweet.
we all love each other there at Performing Arts, don't we? We're a family.
Yeah, I can
Yeah. Family that live together stays together.
tell.
That's right, even virtually.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Or a family that sings, dances, and acts together stays together, right?
True.
Right. Now, and Elaine, and again, Elaine, Coach E, and I love The Soul Whisperer. Oh my God, I think that's a book that you're going to come out. By the way, like all these thoughts are going, boom, 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 grab this one. You have written several books, right?
Yeah, yeah. The first one was my story, my memoir with Neil and the creation of the Miracle Project, and how that all started, and the story of Autism the Musical. So that's in my first book. It's called Now I See the Moon.
Great title.
Thank you. It comes from the Japanese haiku, a barn burned down, now I can see the moon.
Wow.
So sometimes things aren't the way we want them to be, right? And that's like my barn burning down, but now I can see the moon. I see the essence of what is real.
Wow.
And then the second one is called 7 Keys to Unlock Autism, and that's my methodology. That was originally for teachers to understand how we're all different, right? And how do we allow each other's differences, and that it's not about teachers and coaches trying to change us, but teachers and coaches like you have with David that see you for who you really are, and are curious and help you to be the best that you can be. And that's what that book does. That's what that book shares about.
Wow.
Beautiful. Lanzarod record.
Hey, David.
Hey, do you have a question for Elaine?
Yes, I do. What project are you working on now?
What a great question. So right now we are working on a video that's going to be used in faith-based communities. So synagogues, mosques, churches, that's called Of One Breath. And it's about how we're all created from one breath. And it's a wonderful gospel piece that we're working on right now. I'll send the trailer to David so you can see it. And that should hopefully be done in the next 2 weeks.
Oh, how wonderful.
Thanks for asking. And then we're starting up classes. We're starting our fall classes, writing an original musical and improv classes and comedy and social skills, relationship skills, all that good stuff.
Yeah. Number 2, does your son help you with your projects?
My son is my hero, and he's in this project. He's in the Of One Breath. He helps me all the time, and yes, with my projects for sure. And then there's times where he's like, I don't want to act anymore. And then there's times he likes being a model. He's been a model. He did some walk-on roles in the series Atypical, and he also has been an actor at UCLA, and he loves, and he's a presenter. He presented with me at the United Nations a couple times.
Wow.
So he doesn't speak through his mouth. He uses a device. He types and communicates that way.
Yeah.
He's super cool dude. Neil Katz, super cool.
Yeah.
Right,
Number
Nick?
3.
Right.
Number 3.
Oh, you have a
Right.
third one. Ooh, you're
What was your first acting job?
The first acting job I coached on, or the first acting job I was in?
You was in.
Oh, wow. Let's see. First acting job I was in was a musical, and I was in middle school, and it was called Calamity Jane.
Ah.
Nice.
And I definitely caught the bug. I knew this was it. This was home.
Mm-hmm.
And you were in the movie Fly Away, yes?
Oh yeah, I was.
And that's a wonderful film.
Yes, Janet Grillo. She's amazing. I really felt more comfortable behind the scenes. I love coaching. And it was just ironic that Janet invited me to be in Fly Away, and then I was in Autism the Musical and Autism the Sequel front and center. So I prefer to play myself.
Yeah.
And so that than a character, and so that's why I feel really comfortable in those films, because I was myself.
Right.
But you guys are going to love this, Nick. I don't even know if you know this story, but I was a professional dancer. And I danced in a touring company of Sesame Street Live.
Oh,
wow!
Wow.
That's how I got my AFTRA card, and then I was able to get my SAG card because I had my AFTRA card. So I was a featured dancer, and then I also played. You're gonna love this. I played Oscar the Grouch. So it wasn't my voice, but I was the puppeteer. My arm got really strong, and I was the puppeteer.
Did you notice that this had bigger muscle than this one? Oh my God. Well, you were talking about coaching on the set, and you were just coached on Atypical, yes?
I was the for season 2. Any of you guys ever watch Atypical?
Yeah, I've seen one of the I think it was the pilot that I had seen.
Oh, okay, great. So this was before they had ever hired a group of people on the spectrum. So I helped them cast, and season 2, the peer group were mostly students from the Miracle Project, and then also anybody in the hallway. We were able to cast students from the Miracle Project as in the disability rooms, and then Dominique Brown, who know, he was in season 2 and season 3, and so I was the on-set advocate and on-set coach for Atypical.
Right, Dominique.
It was really fun. It was wonderful human beings, such good people.
And Spencer Hart was in that, right?
Spencer Hart, she started with the Miracle Project when she was just a little girl. And Dominique started with the Miracle Project. So many people. The peer group, everyone in the peer group, but one.
You know what I visualized? I visualized the forest growing, the trees getting bigger, and forest of love.
Forest of love, and then now so many forests. It's like we were, Performing Arts Studio West and Miracle Project, we were, just little oases, and now it's like you said, there's forests, apple trees planted all over the world of people, like-minded people, where you guys get to live your dream. You guys get to sing, you get to dance, you get to act, you can be in TV, you can be in film. We're being represented correctly. I just worked on a new show that for Amazon that will be out because of the pandemic, we stopped production, but it's called On the Spectrum, and that's going to be coming out. I was the on-set advocate for that too, and it's going to be really groundbreaking as well.
Looking forward. Jessica Morgan.
Yes. Yeah. When I actually, I have a couple of things that I would like to ask, and one thing to say.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I saw you were talking, and when I saw you talking and interacting with Blair, that kind of got me emotional. And just because I have a nephew, I have a cousin, and he has it as well. He's on the spectrum for it. And I know that sometimes it can be hard, but when I was watching the two of you, something just it clicked, and it was just beautiful just to watch that interaction.
Jessica, thank you. I really appreciate you saying that, and I can see what a deep feeling person you are.
Yeah, very. And then I have a question for you. My question is with meeting all of these different people with the autism and the different disabilities. I was wondering, when you met them, was it emotional for you to see on what kind of stories that they have towards you?
I love, what a great question. I'm really moved by how professional all of you are and prepared. My favorite place in the world to be is with my community of people that experience the world differently. So I am the lucky one where I get blessed every day to be able to be in a world that's real. And I think all of us have some, we're all gifted in one ways and have challenges in others. And it's very moving, to answer your question, every day, not only when I first meet people, but every second, every day.
Yeah, well, I know that it's emotional for me to see people who actually have a voice, to have a right, and it's very touching, and I think actually I know that you are a person that can really make a difference, and can really also make a miracle actually happen with doing what you're doing right now.
Thank you, Jessica.
Yeah, I have another. As I go on, I have another question.
Yeah.
My other question is when you said that you had that you have a son, and that you said that he is your hero. Are there other people that are there other people that are like that to you, in a way of seeing them and having you coach them?
Wow, that's such a great question. When I say my son is my hero, I see him as every single day dealing with people giving him dirty looks, looking at him like he's weird, and still walking through life with a sense of confidence, assurance, and sense of self. And I think people who are courageous, it's not that they just aren't afraid. I think people who are courageous, it's because they may feel afraid, but there's a higher purpose guiding them to do something anyway. So really, I think anyone who follows their own heart and their own mission is leading a heroic life.
Okay.
Yes, many. I've been fortunate. I've seen many people come to the Miracle Project, some who couldn't, talk, or, they were isolated, they didn't have friends, and they're able to find their voice and develop their passions, and now star in TV and film. And, so I've definitely witnessed that. And that's extraordinary. But heroic to me as well is when we're driven to do something and be someone in spite of the obstacles that are thrown our way.
Yes. Yeah, I see people who don't really have quite the understanding of seeing that. And I think that you can't really judge a book by its cover.
That's for sure.
And you can't judge the ability or the disability of a person. And for me, when I see that, it makes me sad to see that.
I'm right there with you, and I can see how deeply you feel. Listen, I cry every day. I let myself. I do. I do my yoga exercises and I meditate every day, and I cry every day. You know.
And so much of, a lot of times we think crying is for sadness, but a lot of times I cry. Most of the time, it's because I'm happy about something.
Yeah, but
I do both. I do both.
Yeah.
I do both.
Especially lately. Oh my gosh.
Especially lately, and every day have a good time to cry, and also obviously a good time to laugh.
Yeah.
With community and people who understand us. I think that's the ticket to a beautiful life.
Yeah.
Okay. Is connecting to our own soul, and then finding like-minded people that you can share your true self with.
Yeah.
What is your proudest moment?
So many. There's been so many. I always go back to to my son, but it's really his moment that I got to experience. So, when he walked and got his graduation. It's not a diploma, but it's his life diploma. Just to see him do that with such integrity, and there's been so many. Proudest, perhaps last year. Now it's 2 years ago, a year and a half ago. I was invited to present at the United Nations, and I knew that it was on technology and autism. And I've spoken there many times, 6-7 times, but this year was about technology. And I noticed that there was no representation of non-speaking autistics on any of the panels. So I was able to advocate and get 7 individuals who use devices to speak. One was a woman who, Chloe Rothschild, who actually speaks, but uses her device to prepare herself and when in anxious moments. And the other were 6 non-speaking autistics, my son, who was one of them. And to have him on a panel with me, sitting side by side, and no one knew that he was my son, because I'm Elaine Hall, Coach E, and he is Neil Katz. He has a different last name. And to see him on his own. So first, I was so proud that we changed the United Nations by having non-speakers present. And then secondly, here was my son sitting next to me. So I think, changing the world one thing at a time. And then, every show we do, every song we sing, every young person who gets a gig in a TV, and the parents never even thought they'd have a friend in life, and now they're going to sleepovers and hanging out, and well, not today, but they were, I get to feel pride and joy all the time.
Yeah, I feel that it's a lot.
Well, I wanted to say, I know before we wrap it up, I know you said you might be doing an exercise, or?
Oh, yeah. Do you guys want to do an exercise with me?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So what I want you to do, I can't see you as well now, but you can see me better. I want you to take a deep breath in and fill up your stomach, fill up your chest, and slowly let the air out. And however or wherever your feet are touching the floor or touching your chair, breathe in and feel the way the ground or your chair is supporting you. Take another deep breath in your stomach and fill up your chest and get a sense of how you're sitting now on your chair. Feel the way you're sitting on your chair, and now feel the way the chair is supporting you. And breathe in all the way up to your head and visualize the golden sunshine beaming light from the top of your head all the way down your body, filling your entire body up with a radiant, beautiful golden light. And fill your heart fill with light, going through every blood vessel, every cell, every being of your body and into your soul. And in your soul, know who you are. Know what you want. And know that you are unique, an individual with a voice. Maybe put your hands over your heart if you care to. And just whisper, I am. And when you're ready, maybe wiggle your hands around, wiggle your shoulders, take another deep breath, and slowly open your eyes. Let yourself be who you are. Know who you are. There's only one you. And each of us have come here for a purpose, to be our best selves. And I celebrate you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, my joy. My joy. One thing, if I could ask one thing that from today's session that you can apply to your life right away, what would that be? One thing. Anybody want to share? Yes, Yazarad.
Just in my life, just read my Bible every day. I pray.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Someone else, something that you got from today that you can apply. Blair.
Not to give up.
Beautiful.
Thank you so much. And thank you, David.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Nick.
Do my best. Do your best. Do your best.
Do your best. Beautiful. Beautiful. Anyone else? Yeah, David.
Remember that when you breathe in the healing light.
We all need that now for sure.
Yeah.
Anyone else want to share something? Okay, anyone else? Yeah? Yeah, Jessica.
Yeah, the one thing that I want to apply to myself is to love myself wholly, and to just be just be the miracle that I am.
Beautiful. That makes my day. Thank you. Thank you.